This is my Audi S3 that I bought from auction, and I kinda got it for cheap-ish. I'll be honest and say I got caught up in the bidding and might have paid slightly over the odds for it. Initially, this car didn't run. Oh dear. But after a lot of time, head scratching and button pushing, we got it started. But you can see all of that in the last video. Now it's time to get this thing down the drive, strip the front end off and find out how much damage there actually is. First up, we need to get this wheel off. There's a lovely gash on the side, so for now we'll put the spare wheel on just to get us rolling. However, I soon found out my lovely little Halfords jack just wouldn't fit under the car. So out came the scissor jack, and after a lot of winding, some more winding, and some more winding, it was off the floor. Cue me being confused at the length of the bolts from the wheel and then realising there were spacers on the car. The bolts are around 15mm longer, allowing for the thickness of the spacer between the wheel and the hub, but the spare wheel wouldn't fit on over the spacer. Luckily, I had a spare Audi on the drive with some shorter bolts. However, this solution only gave me 4 out of the 5 that I needed. It's not going far. And after that, we finally got it down the driveway. And after a bit more winding, I really need a better jack. It was time to start work. First thing, let's get this wing off. It's been annoying me for the last week, flapping around, and it's also been scuffing the door every time I open it because the way that it's bent in there. So luckily for me, I've already made a start. Everything down here, well, that's all missing. So there's just a few of these little pop-out clips here. One screw up there on the arch liner. There's 2 bolts behind here, I believe, and then 1 bolt up there. Yeah, that was a complete lie. There were way more bolts. So I popped up the arch liner and then started working on a couple of bolts holding the wing on. One more bolt on this, and Audi don't half make it hard for you, and it's just behind here. So I can bend that thing out of the way. Might just be able to fit this through. I'm pretty sure you're meant to take the door off of this part, but there was no way I was doing that. Next up was the front bumper. If you've ever had the pleasure of doing this before, the official method from Audi is to remove both front wheels and arch liners to get to the 2 bolts that sit underneath the headlights, just here. I thought I knew better and decided to wedge the arch liner out of the way and proceeded to get my arm wedged behind the bumper for half an hour, which probably ended up taking me longer. Oh well. Once that was off, I took the remaining bolts out, holding the bumper to the under tray, and then the last 3 bolts holding the grille to the slam panel. Oh, why is that so long? We're getting there. So we got the bumper off, and there's a bit of damage to the loom, which you can see the ends of here. Now 3 of these I know go to the next parking sensor, but then there's 2 more that carry on somewhere, which would have been down here. Looking at this side, I'm assuming it would go to this, which is, I think it's something to do with the crash sensors. Going by the fact it's a yellow plug, it's something to do with the crash detection system. So if I buy another yellow plug and a little bit of wire, then I can remake those ends off, put it onto the new bumper. We can reuse this, we can reuse that. Can't reuse it that side, it's on the floor here. Mounts have completely snapped off, so that's for the bin. Pipes are right between them, we'll reuse that. I need to get another end, so that's fine. And then obviously this side of the car's good, apart from that tinted headlight. I don't like that. But as I was about to find out, there was a bit more damage than I expected. This side of the crash bars damaged, so that is really annoying. It is literally the ends just pushed in. You can see there what it's supposed to look like that side. That is so boring. Let's just push that end in there. I think this leg's okay. Everything else is fitting right, bonnet, all that. This is all alright. Obviously this isn't. The brackets took most of that damage. But yeah, that is boring. So we'll get a new one of those ordered. New bit of this. The crash sensor in that is damaged as well. There's a hose that goes through there. You can see it go down there to the other side. There's another sensor, that's that side. And that'll detect air pressure change. So when you get a crash like that, if it was on the front and the pressure changed there, that'd let the car know, and then it will blow the airbag module in there, which forces these up, pushes the bonnet up a bit, and lets your person shoot over the roof and not hit the windscreen. So a bit of an unfortunate discovery, but I suppose we should have been expecting it buying a car from auction and not viewing it beforehand. It's always a risk, but we still had to crack on. Fingers crossed we don't discover more damage as I continue stripping it down. Next was the headlight. I unscrewed what was left of the bolts holding it on and threw it into the pile. Then it was onto the crash bar and form. I dropped the 4 bolts out of the passenger side. horn off the driver's side and the same 4 bolts, fully expecting it to drop off easily, but oh how wrong I was. It looks like it's sort of sandwiched between it, so this part is on the front of it and then this part is then behind it, so you've got to sort of twist this forward to pull it out. So it looks like I'm gonna have to take off this headlight, this bolt, that bolt, and hopefully the pipes here have got enough room in them to slide this forward and let me get this out. So now even more the car needed to come apart. I started taking out the good passenger side headlight. It's not going in that pile. And then I got the jack out to support the weight of the radiators when I unbolt the slam panel. Look, no home garage is complete without a trusty trolley jack and a bit of wood. Once I'd done a quick safety check, I removed the last 2 bolts from the top of the slam panel and hoped this finally freed it up. Surprise, it didn't. Turns out I still need to take these 2 dangly plastic things out. I think they help with airflow into the radiator, and those hose looking parts are drain offs for the LED headlights. And finally, it was free. After that, I put a couple of bolts back into the slam panel, just in case my trusty block of wood failed. Right, next up is the radiator and wing bracket. Now, this is the good side, and you can see here, it comes down nice and straight. This bracket here is sitting horizontal, mounts to the wing. This radiator is lovely and solidly in there. And then if we go over here, well, none of that is happening this side. So this is completely gone. That is, well, the bracket's gone for it. Unfortunately, this is mounted by 2 bolts through there, which sit perfectly underneath this aircon pipe. Now, I'm hoping if we unclip this, it'll give me just enough room to move this out the way and get to those 2 bolts. I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching, don't really care. So we're on to the home straight now, just the last few pieces left before I've got this thing completely stripped down. With the aircon pipes out the way, and after a bit of fiddling, off came the wind bracket, and then it was onto the auxiliary radiator, or what was left of it. And then I spent far too long trying to take the nut off this bracket. I could have really done with a ratchet spanner, but you've got to work with what you've got. finally, off came the horn, which was the last piece of the puzzle. And that left us with this. Honestly, this is way more than I was expecting, but I guess I just underestimated the extent of the damage and how much stuff is packed underneath these cars. So if you've enjoyed watching me slowly realise this has blown my budget, then I would really appreciate you hitting those like and subscribe buttons.
Now it's time for me to order some parts and see how much this thing's going to cost me. I was a bit premature, I bought this already, so if you want to see what delicious thing is under here, then join me in the next one. I know we got